Coil. This is Tammy Worley, and this is my final presentation for my capstone management class. The first thing I want to show you is a policy I found actually for the Wyoming Department of Corrections. They actually have an employee wellness program policy, and my plan is to bring this to my peers in the DOC and come up with something similar for Minnesota. This plan wouldn't cost the state any money. It's all voluntary, but it really encourages employee wellness in the department. Next, here's my resource book. My resource book is called Stress Reduction Resources for Correctional Professionals, and how I anticipate this to be used is would be a training program, and there's different modules and stuff in this book that supervisors and training directors can utilize for corrections professionals. So the beginning of the book starts with a quiz. It has a quiz that participants would take. It's just a bunch of stress-related questions. And then it has a measurement tool that talks about whether or not you cope well with stress based on your score. You are stressed, but you're winning, or you're very stressed and should seek help now. This just kind of gives people an overview, and it really makes them think about where they're at as far as their stress levels. Then we go through the basics of the signs and symptoms of stress. The medical issues, a lot of times people can have medical issues and not know where they stem from, and they can come from stress on the job. The next module is self-care. Self-care is very important. This module talks about self-care and the different components of self-care. There's a self-care assessment to see what people are currently doing now, whether they do it frequently, occasionally, rarely, or never. Or it never occurred to me to use, which I think is very interesting. Some examples are about eating healthy, making time for themselves, getting enough clothes, even wearing clothes that they like, emotional self-care, spending time with others, spiritual. It just goes into a variety of self-care things so people can rate themselves. Next is there's an activity that you do that just talks about self-care and how much time you put into actually taking care of yourself. This one talks about social support and finding the right people to hang out with, and maybe other people. This would be a good thing for families to use, to get families involved to make sure that their loved ones working in corrections are staying safe. This is some more information on self-care. The next module goes into nutrition. When you work shift work and things like that, nutrition is a huge part. So there's lots of resources on the USDA website as far as nutrition goes, about eating healthy and even being able to eat at work when you're on the job and you have little to no time for a break. And the next part is on exercise and the importance of exercise and maintaining self-care and staying fit and healthy to help reduce all the medical issues that are associated with stress. So this just talks about the life-changing benefits to exercise. And then this is just some, actual statistics and information on physical activity for adults that can be found online. I actually found this on the CDC government website. So this type of information is available to everybody. This talks about the importance of overweight and obesity. I believe in my paper I talked about being overweight and obese. And then another huge part is shift work. Because corrections is a 24/7 operation, everybody is working an assigned shift. So this talks about the getting enough sleep, eating healthy, exercise, and just learning about the downfalls of working shift work and being able to counteract those downfalls. This really goes into a lot about sleep and about medical conditions and things that I discussed in the beginning parts of my paper. So that's a pretty big pattern. Strategies for combating shift work. Then I have a section here on relationships and families. This is about getting families involved and about how important it is to make sure that your family knows the warning signs and symptoms of too much stress. This goes into a lot of the EAP resources. that are available free to corrections employees. And on this page, it's very important that that the training staff bring in somebody from EAP to go over all of the resources and tools that are available. I did print some of the flyers and stuff that are available and some of the online resources that a lot of people don't even know about that EAP can help with. So I have those in there to show. And then next, there is a module on sleep and getting appropriate amounts of sleep and getting good sleeps and maintaining healthy sleep habits. Do's and don'ts of getting a good night's rest versus not. Talks about sleep disorders, especially things associated with shift work. This goes into how to begin to get a better night's sleep. What steps does one need to take to make sure that they are getting quality sleep at night or during the day? I found resources available on sleep hygiene and how you should sleep during the day if you have to work at night. Then some of the other things related to stress, different modules. I have a module on domestic abuse. I believe I put a couple examples in there about people who actually hurt their loved ones because of the stress and not knowing how to handle it. So there's resources regarding domestic abuse. I actually included domestic abuse rates in Minnesota. The next one is about smoking. I can tell you just when I walk into work in the morning, the amount of staff that are out on their breaks that smoke. And we all know the medical issues and problems that can arise from smoking. So there's lots of resources actually available through EAP to help staff stop smoking. Secondhand smoke. You know, people don't realize when they smoke in their homes what they're doing to their kids. So I have a bunch of information on secondhand smoke. So lots of information on that. Diabetes. Diabetes is huge when you don't eat right and you're stressed and you're overweight. Diabetes is a huge issue with correctional officers. There's so many that are even on insulin-dependent diabetes. So just by maintaining a healthy weight, getting a good night's sleep, rest, exercise, you can avoid diabetes. Alcohol abuse. A lot of people who do shift work, who get off late at night, they end up down at the local bar with their buddies because they don't want to go home. Everyone's sleeping. Alcohol abuse is huge. So there's a module on alcohol abuse. And then at the end I have some miscellaneous things about skin cancer, you know, maintaining healthy, women being healthy, men being healthy, just taking care of themselves and additional resources. I think since I've put this book together, I've already found additional resources, so my plan is to keep adding to this book as I find additional things, but that this book can be taken apart and places of work can do just like an hourly seminar. Say one day you do an hour seminar on smoking. Maybe one day you do a couple hours on shift work. So it can be a whole training plan, or you can just break it apart and do pieces at a time. So that is it. Thank you.